Hello, dear listeners, and welcome back to Book Summary 5, the 5-Minute Summary Channel. I'm Sammy, your host. Today, we're diving into The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine, published in 2017. This psychological thriller is a gripping tale of envy, deception, and ambition. Let's dive into the key events and storylines so you'll feel like you've read it cover to cover. The story begins with Amber Patterson, a young woman who feels invisible and underappreciated in her life. She envies the wealthy and glamorous Daphne Parrish, who seems to have everything Amber desires: a perfect marriage to the handsome Jackson Parrish, beautiful children, and a life of luxury in the exclusive town of Bishop's Harbor, Connecticut. Determined to insert herself into Daphne's world and take her place, Amber devises a meticulous plan. Amber learns that Daphne is deeply involved in the Julie's Smile Foundation, a charity dedicated to cystic fibrosis awareness, named after Daphne's late sister, Julie. Seizing this opportunity, Amber pretends to have lost a sister to the same disease, thus gaining Daphne's sympathy and trust. The two women quickly become friends, with Amber ingratiating herself into every aspect of Daphne's life. As Amber grows closer to the Parrish family, she carefully manipulates situations to drive a wedge between Daphne and Jackson. She uses her growing influence over Daphne to sow seeds of doubt and discontent in their marriage, all while presenting herself as the ideal woman who understands Jackson better than his own wife. Amber's ultimate goal is to replace Daphne as Mrs. Parrish and take over her luxurious lifestyle. Amber moves into the guest house on the Parrish estate under the guise of helping Daphne, who is grieving the loss of her sister. She becomes a fixture at family gatherings and social events, all while continuing to charm Jackson. Amber's manipulations are subtle but effective. She makes sure to highlight Daphne's supposed shortcomings while emphasizing her own compatibility with Jackson. She even stages situations to make Daphne look irrational or negligent, further eroding Jackson's trust in his wife. Daphne, however, is not as naive as Amber believes. As Amber's machinations unfold, Daphne begins to suspect that Amber's intentions are far from innocent. Through a series of journal entries and flashbacks, we learn about Daphne's tumultuous past with Jackson. Initially charming and attentive, Jackson reveals his true nature as a controlling and abusive husband once they are married. Daphne's seemingly perfect life is actually a facade, maintained to protect herself and her children from Jackson's wrath. When Daphne finally uncovers the extent of Amber's deceit, she devises a plan of her own. She allows Amber to believe that her scheme is working, all while gathering evidence of Amber's manipulation and betrayal. Daphne uses this information to confront Jackson, exposing Amber's true intentions and Jackson's abusive behavior. Faced with the threat of public humiliation and legal consequences, Jackson is forced to comply with Daphne's demands. Daphne's plan is meticulous. She ensures that Amber's deceit is revealed to everyone in their social circle, effectively ostracizing her. She orchestrates scenarios that make Amber look unhinged and untrustworthy, ensuring that even those who were initially charmed by her turn their backs on her. Daphne also takes steps to secure her children's future and her own freedom from Jackson's control. She hires a private investigator to gather concrete evidence of Jackson's infidelities and abusive behavior, which she uses as leverage to negotiate a favorable divorce settlement. Amber, left with nothing, is forced to confront the reality of her actions. Her ambition and envy have led to her own undoing, and she must face the consequences of her deceit. She finds herself shunned by the very society she sought to infiltrate, with no allies to turn to. Her dreams of wealth and status crumble as she realizes the extent of her miscalculations. Meanwhile, Daphne begins to rebuild her life, now free from the toxic influence of her husband and the woman who sought to replace her. She focuses on her children and her work with the Julie's Smile Foundation, finding solace and strength in her newfound independence. Daphne's journey is one of resilience and empowerment, as she takes control of her destiny and creates a life on her own terms. The Last Mrs. Parrish is a thrilling exploration of envy, deception, and resilience. Liv Constantine masterfully weaves a tale of twisted ambition and the lengths to which people will go to achieve their desires. The novel's intricate plot and unexpected twists keep readers on the edge of their seats, making it a captivating read from start to finish. In conclusion, The Last Mrs. Parrish offers a gripping look into the dark side of human ambition and the complex dynamics of power and manipulation. It's a story that reminds us of the dangers of envy and the strength of those who refuse to be broken by their circumstances. Thank you for tuning in to Book Summary 5, the 5-minute summary channel. If you enjoyed this summary, please subscribe, like, and share it with your friends. Until next time, happy reading.